Yo guys, what's up? Sleepyo here. Today I have a full up-to-date raid tutorial for you. That will include a few of our speedrun strategies, but not too many, and don't worry, I will explain everything you gotta do as clear as possible. First I will start with some build suggestions for each part, I guess, because that is also kinda important. So for Boomer, Lucy Buddy, and all the parts in between, so that section and the mall section, I would run a headshot AR build or a normal crit AR build if you play on console or if you don't have the headshot AR build. Any AR build with Berserk kinda works. So that's what I would play. Obviously, LMG build also works. I don't really know what people are playing if they play LMG build right now. I haven't made one in a while because I don't know, ARs are just so much better, especially in the raid, so I don't know. But LMG builds also work. For the second boss, you want a high-end sniper build if you have. The important part about that is 3-piece Heraldry or just stack and headshot damage and weapon damage, and having the Nemesis. The Nemesis is really important for that because that's the only thing you're gonna shoot at the second encounter. For the last part, I would go with a crit build since Razorback doesn't have a head, so you can't even hit headshots, it's all body shots, and yeah, any AR crit build, LMG crit build, all that works. What's important with every build you play is a damage release. You should have at least 80 damage release. I don't know, on my builds I have around 100, 90 to 100 on most of my builds. So yeah, the more you can get, the better, but 80 is like is a good number that I would, you know, just throw out of here. To get to 80%, you don't need that much, you just need around 40% on the mask, and then 4 pieces of hard hitting, then you already have 80 just from the pieces. Alright, now to the first encounter, so the Boomer boss. I will quickly go over the positions of people and then over the full encounter. So right when the raid starts, you will have those EMP pillars, those will be up, and you have to shoot them with the turret, and by doing that you will spawn a wave of NPCs, and that's basically the start of the encounter. There's a turret on each side, and there's 2 of those EMP pillars on both sides. And yeah, just shoot them and then kill the NPCs. And then Boomer will spawn right behind that garage door. He's gonna walk out of that garage door, and he has that nice green blinking thing on his chest. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you wanna shoot it, but don't shoot it when he comes out. Wait with shooting that green healing spot until he's at that pillar right here. Because if you shoot it right here, he will get staggered for a little bit, and the guy at the turret can shoot his back, and then you can already do damage. That way you don't waste any time, and the guy on the turret also has an easier time hitting the backpack since Boomer is just standing still. The guys on the turrets, by the way, should have decent damage release, since the more damage release you have, the more damage you're gonna do with the turret as well. Damage release works on those turrets. One guy should protect the guy at the turret, since there is NPCs coming out of that door, and sometimes from that side as well, and if they shoot the guy at the turret, he obviously can't defend himself. So either he has a defender drone, or what I would suggest is just one guy protecting him. The other 6 guys should be in the middle area. We are always playing at that cover for the first time, and then just in general around that middle area. Main reason for that is to press the laptops, and because you have a good overview for everything, and also a lot of cover. So as soon as Boomer comes out, you just, as I said, shoot the chest when he passes that pillar, and then basically shoot his head or his body until he loses 2 armor bars. As soon as he lost 2 armor bars, he will go immune. You can do over damage, but I will not go into that. I have that in my speedrun videos. You basically do that with a sniper build. You just charge up the Nemesis and shoot right before he goes immune. But you don't have to do that. That's not needed. As soon as he goes immune again, he will target one or focus one guy, and that guy just runs to the other side and waits for Boomer basically. While the guy that's getting focused runs over here, the guys that are assigned to the 41 turret should also go there and just take the turret and be ready to shoot the back. Well, and as soon as he's here, you shoot the back with the turret and do another damage phase. Easy as that. Obviously, while you don't shoot a Boomer, you just clear ads, right? At least the guys in the middle, the guys at the turrets don't do that. And the guy that's getting chased should always look at Boomer's chest, because you probably know that that healing plate pops up sometimes, and the easiest way to always shoot it instantly is to just assign the guy that's getting chased to do that, because that guy obviously will always have an eye on Boomer, since he's being followed by him. So yeah, as soon as you did another phase of damage here, you just rinse and repeat, run to the other side, do another phase of damage here. After the third phase of damage, you can press those laptops to avoid the EMP pillars to go up again. I would definitely do that because, well, if they go up, you have to shoot them, and that definitely takes more time than pressing the laptops. You can see which laptops you press on those screens outside here. That's why 4 guys should be in inner circle to just be able to instantly press the laptops, and a few guys should be outside to just tell them which one it is. Either the guys that are at the turrets or the guys that are generally roaming outside. Just look at the screens and call out which laptops you have to press. And that's basically the whole encounter. You just bait Boomer from one side to the other side, do 2 bars of damage, and after 5 phases, if he didn't heal up in the meantime, he should be dead. Easy as that. Alright, now to the second encounter. That one basically starts with pressing the laptop right here, because then your full team gets teleported inside that room after like 10 or 15 seconds, and that door closes. After that, you can open the elevators and go down. You should split your group equal, so 4 people should go A and 4 people should go B. I think that's the easiest. By the way, for that encounter, I would highly suggest having a sniper build, as I said in the beginning. Nemesis is by far the best gun for that whole encounter. Doesn't even matter if you have a fully min-maxed or if you have any sniper build. It doesn't matter as long as you have the Nemesis. Obviously, with a sniper build, you're gonna have a lot more damage. But as long as you have the Nemesis, you're gonna be fine. I feel like everybody should kind of play that. If you really don't want to play it, then play something else, but Nemesis really makes that full encounter so much easier. Before I go over the encounter itself, I will talk about some positions you can sit in. Since there is 2 guys that press a button, I will only talk about 3 spots, since those 2 guys should not sit in cover, otherwise the bosses will spam with grenades, and that's pretty annoying. So on the B side, 1 guy should sit back here, then 1 guy can sit right here, and another guy, or even 2 guys, can sit right here. On the other side, you even have more options. You can basically sit with all 3 guys right here, or 2 guys here, 1 guy here, or 1 guy here, 1 guy here, and 1 guy up here. That is a spot I really like, because you're basically safe from the sniper up here, and you can just peek out with the Nemesis. That's a pretty good spot, I think. Alright, now to the encounter. So, normally that middle part is down and not up. So, you have those 3 screens on each side, and in the beginning, 1 screen will show ready on one of the sides. The team that sees the button just tells the other team so they can press it at the same time. You have like a 1 second time frame, so you don't need to press it at the exact same time. I would use callouts for those, for example, middle, front, back, middle, nose, tail, or 1, 2, 3, whatever. Just give those names and don't say left and right, since left on this side is not left on the other side. That is a mistake we did in the beginning, I think. So just say front, back, middle or something. That's what we do. When you figured out who presses the button, then just, press the buttons and the encounter will start. On the B side, Ricochet, I think his name is, will spawn right here. And on the other side, Dizzy will spawn right at that door. Then they will just run towards the window and jump down. You can start doing damage as soon as you see them, but if you play the Nemesis, you can use the time to charge it up and get a clear shot when they drop down. On Dizzy's side, however, you will have a damage debuff, so you are doing less damage over the time. That's why most times Ricochet will die first. And that's already the first strategy. Kill Ricochet first. After you kill 1 boss, the middle part will open up and you can kill the other sub-boss. As soon as the first boss dies, Weasel will spawn on the opposite side of where you killed the first boss. Sounds confusing, but it's pretty easy. If you kill Ricochet, then Weasel will spawn on Dizzy's side, and if you kill Dizzy first, then Weasel will spawn on the other side. Another strat is to press the buttons again when you dropped Ricochet's armor. When you press the buttons again, the gas will swap and the other side will get the damage debuff. That means now the people on Dizzy's side can either kill Dizzy or swap gas another time and kill both bosses at the same time. As soon as Weasel spawns, you should run to the opposite side of where he spawned. Just to be safe from him. You can't do damage to him anyways, since his spawn will trigger another damage debuff phase. When the damage debuff phase is over, you can try to burst him in 1 go or just do it in multiple goes. Either way, at the end you will kill him and you finish the second encounter. Okay, now to the third encounter with Buddy and Lucy. I will talk about the positions first and then we'll talk about the encounter. So for that part you should have 3 guys on Lucy's side, so on that side, and then 5 guys on Buddy You can also go 4-4, but you should definitely have a little bit more damage on Buddy's side, since Buddy is the one healing. Position-wise, at least in the beginning, you will have 2 guys at the laptops, so 1 guy right here and 1 guy behind that laptop, and you're gonna press them as soon as Lucy is done with her 2 360s with the minigun. Then you can press them the first time, and if everything goes right, that's the only time you need to press them. The other guys on Buddy's side should or could sit right here. That is a good spot. Just in general, in all the stores, it's a pretty good spot on both sides, because everything that has vertical cover is really, really good, since there's actually no chance that Lucy can hit you through a solid wall, right? If you sit behind cover like that and a C command hits you, then you're gonna get staggered out and Lucy will probably hit you with the beam. Anyways, back here is also a good spot, because C commands most of the times don't go back here. You can also be right here on that side. It's a little bit further away, but it still works. Or you can sit right here. So I think that's a few spots that you should keep in mind, that they are pretty good. On Lucy's side, you can sit right here. That's a good spot. And you can also sit right here. I think that works. Or even behind that pillar if you want, but that one is kind of small, so you're gonna be careful where you walk when Lucy is 360ing. The guy on the laptop should either stay in the middle, like right here, or should go a little bit to the left side, but not too deep in, because if you bait Lucy in here, then nobody except you can shoot her. And you kinda wanna avoid that, right? Alright, so those are the positions. You start the encounter with pressing the button back here, and then you basically have around 10 seconds to position yourself until both dogs gather around in the middle. For that counter, you basically need 0 communication. You just need to know what to do. I don't think you need to talk a single word with your team, actually, as long as you know what to do. So that is a pretty good encounter, I think. As soon as they gather up in the middle, Lucy will start with her 2 360s. And as soon as that's over, you can press the buttons to stop the overcharge. And the guys that press the buttons will get focused by each dog. So if you press the Buddy button, then Buddy will focus you. If you press the Lucy button, Lucy will focus you. Lucy is pretty annoying, so the guy that's on the Lucy button should have a tanky build. Or at least something that's not squishy, you know? So it's like that build, for example. I don't think that would work too good on that side. So you should have a little bit of HP and health if you play on if you play on Lucy's side. On Buddy's side, it doesn't really matter, because Buddy is just walking, healing, and shooting a little bit. However, the guy that is pressing the Buddy button, I guess, can do something to make the encounter a little bit easier, which is just run back. Just as soon as you press the button, go back here. Because Buddy is gonna follow you, and the further you pull away those dogs from each other, the longer it will take for them to get back to the middle in case you overcharge. They are overcharged if the health is not in balance anymore. In best case scenario, that doesn't happen, because everybody just looks at the health bar and then either stops shooting or does a little bit more damage if he can. And yeah, that way you should be pretty safe. And as I said, even if you do a little overcharge, you should have enough time adjusting if you pull Buddy a little bit away from the middle, because, well, they need to turn around and also run back to the middle to even heal. But the important part about this encounter is definitely just keeping the health balanced and then bursting them slowly. It doesn't matter how fast you are, it is always faster to just burst them slowly instead of wiping. And that is the whole encounter. It is probably the easiest encounter, and yeah, they buffed the health by accident for a little bit, or the healing of Buddy for a little bit, but they already changed that back to normal, so it is not as crazy as it was for a little while. Alright, and now to Razorback, the last part of the raid. In my opinion, that's definitely the hardest part, and there are definitely a few different strategies on how you can do it. I will today show you the fastest strategy, which first sounds weird, because normally the fastest one is the hardest as well. But if you actually get it done 1 or 2 times, then it's not as hard as you think anymore. It is just about communication and knowing what to do and when to do it. It is just mainly communication though. As long as you have decent enough builds, you won't have any problems, really. Like, as I said in the beginning, around 80 damage to elites, that's what everybody should really have. If you have a support build like Tip of the Spear or Aces and Eights, then you obviously don't have that much. But with those builds, you support your teams, so that adds more damage to them. So it kinda equals out, you know. In this encounter, all the 8 players need to know what to do and how to do it. If one of the 8 or 2 of the 8 guys fuck up, then you basically fail. There's 2 groups of players. There's 4 guys in circles at 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4 guys that gonna protect them, so the guys that roam, and also the guys that shoot the tanks when they come out. Both of those roles are pretty important, because if the roamers die, all the NPCs will get to the circle guys, and they can't really hold them alone. And if the circle guys die, then, well, the charging of the circle stops, and you need to redo that, and that is something you don't want to do. So the first thing you should do before you even go down is give people a role, or ask, I don't know, either get one guy that assigns everybody to a certain position, or just, decide in a team where you want to go. But everybody should know what he has to do and where he has to stand. The most communication is gonna happen from the circle guys. They're gonna call out when to go inside the circles, and also if they accidentally step out or for whatever reason can't go in. The roamers basically just call out the tanks, and that is not too often if you do that strategy. I will talk about the roamers first, because that's a little bit faster, and then about the circle guys. So roamer, as it already says, you kind of roam around, kill all the NPCs that you see, and protect the guys in the circle. Obviously those guys in the circle can also shoot the NPCs and kind of protect themselves, but especially on 4, there's a lot of NPCs, so if you don't have a roamer on 4, the guy in the circle will most likely die. It is important to clear the ads, because you kind of want to do damage when the damage phase happens, and if a lot of ads or NPCs are left around, then you can't really do damage, because you will just get fucked by the NPCs. So you should kill them before. Also, as I said before, the roamer's gonna kill the tanks, so they need to have decent builds at least, since they probably do the most damage in that part. Now to the circle guys, and that is a role I never played, or I rarely played I think. Most of the times my teammates are doing that, but I still know exactly what to do. So basically, there's only one time that you need to call when to go in the circle, and that is the first time you enter. Each guy that is assigned to the circle should just wait around it, and when everybody is ready to go in, one guy should just call it with, I don't know, 3, 2, 1, go in, or just, just tell him to go in. There's like a 25% buffer in the charge up that you have before it's out of sync. So you don't have to be in all at the same second. You have a little buffer, as I said, 25%. That is quite a bit, but if it's over 25%, then it's gonna fail. What is important is to not step out of the circle. If you go down, it's no problem, because as long as you are down, the circle will still charge up. I think a lot of people don't know that. So if you go down, you can just, as long as you're in the circle, it's all fine. You can still get rest. Your revive is probably gonna get you, because revive is a skill everybody should run for that part. At least if you have normal damage builds, if you have a healer, skill build, whatever, if you play those things, then you can also play the healer hive or whatever. Even though I wouldn't suggest any skill builds, at least in the state of the game right now, because the only builds that are worth playing are damage builds. With that said, the guys in the circle just go in and basically shoot NPCs around, just help the roamers out. And when the circles go to 100%, you will have 2 vents, one on the backside and one on the front side. I would suggest running 1 survivalist in each group. So 1 survivalist should be on the back and 1 on the front, because that way you can use the crossbow to instantly destroy the vents. It saves a lot of time and also a little bit of trouble, I guess, since you don't have to shoot it. And then either the same guy or the other guy on the other circle throws a normal nade inside the vent, just like that. And as soon as this thing is green, the vent will go green when you throw a nade before it is red, and then you know that side is ready. However, you should still stay in the circle. Don't go out of the circle before it disappears from the ground. Then you know you can step out. As soon as that happens, damage phase basically starts, and the roamers should already be on the side that you want to do first. I will just start with the backside, because that's the side we always do first, so it's just easier for me to remember what exactly we do. As soon as you can do damage to the weak points, everybody should be gathered around here, and then you can just start shooting. One quick tip, if you have the 50 cal, then use it. That's by far the best weapon to destroy the weak points. So if you have sharpshooters in your group, then tell them to use 50 cal. That thing is insane. It melts those weak points. You will not have any problems killing those in time, because it doesn't matter how good your build is. The 50 cal will do a lot of damage. If you're not playing sharpshooter, or if you don't have 50 cal ammo, then just use your normal build and your normal gun. I think you should assign 1 guy in your team to only kill drones, since that will get annoying. And just not assigning anybody kinda means that all of the guys will shoot them here and there. and that will probably lose you some damage, so it's just smarter to assign one guy that only kills drone and the other guys just only shoot the weak points. You could use an EMP skill build with the EMP pulse, but I don't think that's worth it. Because if you have a build like that, that player will not have any damage for normal NPCs. He will not be able to solo tanks. Doesn't matter how good the build is, I know that. Because you can't have 100 damage to elites, and that is basically the only thing that matters against elites. So yeah, I don't think skill builds are worth it, but if you really have trouble with the drones, then you could try a EMP build. Those are definitely really, really strong against the drones, but again, only against the drones. As soon as the damage phase is over, the most important part for that strategy starts. Because now the circle guys need to go back inside their circles and basically wait until they pop up again. Every circle guy should be in the circle. If he's not, he needs to call it so the guys can go in a little bit later when everybody's ready. But the plan is that everybody is already in it when the circles go up. That is definitely by far the fastest way and the easiest as well, because you don't even need to call to go in, since everybody is already in. There's a little problem with that though, since Razorback will shoot out rockets at the players after each damage phase, and since the players are inside the circles, he will shoot right at the circles, and you will definitely get some damage that you can't avoid. If you are low health and go down, then that's no problem, as I said before. As long as you are still in the circle, you should be fine. Since, yeah, well, either your Reviver Hive will get you, or the Roamer can probably revive you. But it's important that you are in the circle, or instantly call if you're not. The Roamers go back to their roam positions and basically wait for the tanks, because one tank will spawn right after the first damage wave. Just call out where he is, and you should be able to get him. Especially since there's like 2 other guys that can help you. For example, if he spawns at 4, the guy at 3 can help me, and the guy at 1 can also help me kill it. In the meantime, the circle guys and also the roamers that don't shoot tanks just keep shooting NPCs, keep killing NPCs, and basically just wait until the circles go back to 100. That whole process is pretty quick, since you don't have any downtime. You just go back to the circles instantly as soon as you did the damage phase, so you won't have much time in between the damage phases. If you have ammo problems, then you should just swap your position with the roamer real quick. Just communicate that with him, shouldn't be a big issue, but obviously you should call it before you are on 0 ammo. As soon as the circles go back to 100, you do the same thing again, shoot the weak points, damage them, and kill one side. And then you can go to the other side already and damage the weak points, since they will be up for a little longer after you did half of the main health. The circle guy is gonna be back in the circles already, if everything is going correct, and the roamers just go back to roam. This time you won't have any tanks, and also you won't have any robodogs during that whole encounter, since you are basically skipping 2 tank waves and also all the robodog waves. Because you are always going back in the circle, and because you are doing those damage phases so fast. And I think that's pretty efficient because, well, the robodogs are very annoying, and also the tanks are quite annoying. I don't know. I think that's just the best strategy. As I said in the beginning, it's probably gonna be a little harder than the other strategies. But as soon as you do it 1 or 2 times, you should be able to do it more consistently, and then it's faster, more fun, and less trouble. Since there are no tanks to kill, you shouldn't have much trouble killing a few NPCs, and the circles will just go back to 100, you do damage to the weak points again, and then you already did 75% of the damage to the main health. The only problem with the third part is that you will have 2 heavies. And those heavies will spawn right after the damage phase, literally right after it. And if you were slow at one part before, or if you stepped out of the circles and had to reset or something, then they will spawn in between the damage phase. And the roamers have to run to the tanks and kill them, obviously. That's why I would suggest to have one of the roamers on the backside, if you're damaging the front side. Or if you're damaging the backside last, then have a roamer at the front side, just so he can kill the tanks. Since if you are damaging the front side, let's say from here, you are running away to number 2, for example, is pretty long, and yeah, you probably can't kill him in time if you actually do damage to the weak points as well. That's why I would definitely have one roamer on the opposite side of the weak points for the third phase. That is the only phase where you can actually wipe, because that is a little bit tricky to also have enough damage for the tanks. Since 1 or 2 roamers or even 3 roamers gonna leave and stop doing damage. The good thing is that most of the time you already did enough damage and the circle guys can just finish it off. After the dangerous third wave, you basically did it. You just need to go back into circles one more time And yeah, then it's just one more damage phase to the main boss. No more tanks, no more robot dogs, and yeah. Then you're basically done. The last thing left is then to shoot the consoles. There's 4 consoles at 1, 2, 3, and 4. They will spawn in random order, or they will be damageable in random order. Just call out where they are and kill them. And that's basically it. Alright, that was my raid tutorial. I think that was quite a long video, but I tried my best explaining everything as good as possible, and I hope I could help some people with that. As always, if you want to support me and like my content, then make sure to drop a like, well, or dislike, and probably subscribe to the channel. As always, see you in my next video. Bye.